Respect is often seen as a fundamental value in society, an unspoken rule that it should be extended to everyone equally without question. We are taught from a young age that respecting others is essential for harmony and coexistence, yet we rarely question this notion deeply. Have you ever paused to consider if respect, as a concept, should indeed be automatic or universal? Buddhism invites us to explore this further, offering a perspective that challenges the conventional understanding of respect. In Buddhist teachings, respect is not just a societal obligation. It's a mindful and conscious recognition of another person's character, values, and actions. It's not something to be given lightly or out of habit, but something that must be earned through consistent demonstration of integrity, compassion, and wisdom. Respect is seen as an acknowledgement of one's moral and ethical alignment with the principles that lead to inner peace and collective well-being. In this sense, respect in Buddhism transcends the surface level of polite gestures or societal expectations. It becomes a deeper recognition that connects to the very essence of a person's intentions and actions. Respect isn't about agreeing with or liking someone. It's about seeing the genuine values they uphold and the way they contribute positively to the world around them. This approach encourages a more discerning and mindful evaluation of who truly deserves our respect and admiration. It challenges us to move beyond automatic responses, urging us to consider whether an individual embodies qualities like wisdom, compassion, and moral integrity, traits that Buddhism holds in high regard. In a world where these qualities are not always prevalent, Buddhism suggests that it's appropriate, even necessary, to reserve our respect for those who demonstrate these values consistently rather than bestowing it indiscriminately on everyone. This perspective helps cultivate a more intentional and authentic way of interacting with others, aligning our actions with the Buddhist path of mindfulness and ethical living. Buddhism teaches that the essence of respect is deeply intertwined with intention and behavior, placing a strong emphasis on the quality of one's actions rather than the mere existence of a person. The Buddha's teachings on the Eightfold Path highlight the importance of right action, right speech, and right intention, illustrating that ethical conduct is the cornerstone of a harmonious and mindful life. In this framework, respect is not a superficial gesture or a societal obligation. Rather, it's a conscious recognition of another individual's alignment with these principles. It requires mindfulness and discernment, ensuring that our respect is directed towards those whose actions and words embody compassion, integrity, and wisdom. It's a reminder that while every human being possesses inherent value, the act of respecting someone extends beyond that. It's a reflection of how their behavior and intentions contribute to the greater good. This distinction is crucial in understanding the depth of respect within a Buddhist context. It teaches that while compassion should be extended to all beings, respect must be earned through one's conduct and intentions. If we offer respect unconditionally, without consideration of the other person's actions or alignment with ethical principles, we risk diminishing the true value and purpose of respect itself. When we blindly respect individuals regardless of their behavior, we may inadvertently endorse harmful actions or negative influences, allowing them to proliferate unchecked. Respect, therefore, is not merely about recognizing someone's presence. It's about consciously acknowledging whether their life is lived in accordance with the values that promote peace, understanding, and wisdom. In this way, respect becomes a meaningful and purposeful acknowledgement, one that reinforces the importance of ethical living and mindful intention in our interactions with others. Let's look at this through the lens of karma. In Buddhism, karma represents the law of cause and effect, a powerful and intricate force that connects every action, thought, and intention to a corresponding result. It teaches that our deeds, whether good or bad, create ripples in the universe that inevitably return to us, shaping our future experiences and influencing our journey. If someone acts with malice, deceit, or greed, they are not just harming others, they are sowing seeds of negative karma that will eventually come back to affect their own lives. In this context, it is not our duty to hate or judge them, but it's equally important not to validate or respect their harmful actions. Buddhism calls for a balanced, mindful approach, acknowledging that individuals who create suffering, intentionally or otherwise, may not be on a path deserving of the same level of respect as those who live with integrity, compassion, and wisdom. Understanding the concept of karma helps us discern and make wise decisions about where to place our respect. It becomes clear that respect isn't about offering blanket approval to everyone, regardless of their behavior. It's about seeing the truth of one's actions and the intentions behind them. When we recognize that some individuals are generating negative karma through selfish or harmful behaviors, it allows us to make a conscious choice, one that aligns with our own values and spiritual path. Respect, in this sense, transforms into an act of mindfulness. It guides us to respond appropriately to those around us, showing compassion, but also setting boundaries when necessary to protect our own well-being and moral integrity. By understanding karma, we realize that our respect should align with those whose actions promote harmony and understanding, while also maintaining our distance from negativity and harm, ensuring that we remain true to our principles. However, this doesn't mean that Buddhism promotes disrespect, animosity, or hatred towards others. The Buddha taught that while it is essential to recognize and understand the behavior and intentions of those around us, it is equally important to cultivate compassion. Compassion, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, is about recognizing the suffering in others and approaching them with a sense of empathy and kindness. However, it's important to differentiate between compassion and respect. While these two concepts are interconnected, they are not synonymous. You can express compassion towards someone, acknowledging their pain, ignorance, or misguided actions, without necessarily respecting or endorsing their harmful behavior. Compassion allows us to empathize with others' struggles and challenges, without needing to validate or approve of their negative actions. Buddhism encourages the development of an open heart, one that looks beyond superficial appearances, judgments, and immediate reactions, and sees the deeper reasons behind people's behaviors. It teaches that individuals often act out of their own suffering, ignorance, or confusion. Understanding this can help us respond with kindness, aiming to alleviate their pain. However, this compassion does not mean that we must automatically grant respect to those who have not demonstrated integrity or goodwill through their actions and intentions. It's possible to maintain a sense of empathy and a desire for others' well-being while also holding firm boundaries, acknowledging that some behaviors are misaligned with the values of wisdom, peace, and kindness that Buddhism holds dear. An example from the Buddha's life illustrates this principle perfectly. When faced with Devadatta, his own cousin who not only sought to undermine his teachings but even plotted to harm him physically, the Buddha responded with compassion rather than retaliation or animosity. He recognized that Devadatta's jealousy and ambition stemmed from his own suffering and delusion. The Buddha understood that Devadatta's negative intentions were creating harmful karma that would eventually affect him. Despite this, the Buddha never encouraged hatred or ill will towards his cousin. Instead, he maintained a sense of empathy for the suffering Devadatta was causing himself. However, the Buddha also did not express admiration, endorsement, or respect for Devadatta's malicious actions. He did not allow his compassion to blind him to the reality of Devadatta's harmful intent. Instead, he demonstrated that compassion must be paired with discernment. While he continued to wish for Devadatta's well-being, he made it clear that such harmful behavior was unacceptable. This example shows that while we are called to offer compassion and understanding, we are not obligated to honor or respect those who act with ill intent. The Buddha's response teaches that true spiritual practice requires a balance between compassion and wisdom, recognizing when to offer empathy without enabling or supporting destructive actions. It reminds us that while compassion remains at the core of our interactions, it must be accompanied by clarity and discernment to uphold the principles of integrity and truth. This discernment doesn't just apply to others, it's also a profound invitation for self-reflection. Buddhism teaches that before seeking respect from others, we must first embody the qualities we wish to see: compassion, integrity, and wisdom. Respect, in this sense, goes beyond social niceties. It becomes a mirror of our inner state and actions. The Buddha emphasized that living with right intention, practicing kindness, and showing genuine understanding are not just ways to earn respect from others. They are essential practices for respecting oneself. Are we cultivating these virtues in our own lives? Are we acting in ways that honor our principles and align with our true values? By respecting ourselves through mindful actions and intentional living, we create a foundation that naturally invites respect from those around us. The Buddha's teachings suggest that the way we live our lives directly influences how others perceive and respect us. If our lives are guided by authenticity and virtue, we won't need to seek respect. It will come naturally as a reflection of our character. This is why self-respect becomes the essential starting point for outward respect. It begins with a deep internal alignment to the principles of right action, speech, and intention. When we commit to this inner integrity, we cultivate an unshakable sense of self-worth that is not dependent on others, but radiates from within. There's also the profound teaching of equanimity, or upekkha in Buddhism. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining a balanced and impartial mind, especially when confronted with challenging people or situations that may test our patience and resolve. Not everyone we encounter will share our values, intentions, or principles. Some may act out of ignorance, blinded by their own misunderstandings or misperceptions, while others may act out of malice or cruelty, intentionally causing harm. In such cases, it's essential to maintain this sense of balance, not becoming angry or resentful, and equally not feeling compelled to extend honor or respect to those whose actions conflict with the core principles of kindness, compassion, and moral integrity. Practicing equanimity allows you to navigate such encounters with clarity and mindfulness. It encourages you to remain steadfast in your integrity without being pulled into emotional reactions that may lead to misplaced respect or acknowledgement. By maintaining equanimity, you preserve your inner peace, making it possible to see situations and people clearly, discerning which actions and behaviors genuinely deserve respect. This balanced state of mind serves as a protective measure, preventing you from being influenced by negative emotions or external disturbances. It also ensures that your actions come from a place of thoughtful consideration rather than impulsive reaction, helping you stay centered, focused, and aligned with your values, regardless of external influences or provocations. This approach can also be deeply liberating, freeing you from societal expectations and superficial judgments. Throughout life, you may encounter individuals who demand respect merely based on their status, power, or authority, be it in professional environments, social settings, or within family structures. However, Buddhist wisdom teaches us to see beyond these outward symbols and to question the true essence of a person's character. Instead of automatically granting respect to those in positions of influence, Buddhism encourages us to look deeper, examining the intentions and actions behind their authority. Are they genuinely using their influence to uplift and benefit others? Or are their motivations driven by ego, greed, or self-serving desires? By shifting the focus from external markers of power to internal virtues, you gain the clarity to discern where true respect should be directed. In this way, respect is reserved for those who embody the qualities of compassion, wisdom, and humility, traits that align with the core teachings of Buddhism. This perspective empowers you to be intentional and thoughtful in your relationships and interactions, allowing you to give respect where it is truly deserved and withdraw it when it is not. It serves as a reminder that societal norms, which often equate status or wealth with worthiness, do not align with spiritual values. True value lies not in what a person possesses or the authority they wield, but in their integrity, kindness, and the sincerity of their intentions. By adopting this perspective, you challenge conventional notions of respect, affirming that its essence is earned through the consistent demonstration of virtuous qualities, rather than through superficial markers of success or power. In Buddhism, maintaining boundaries is not only a matter of self-care, but also a way to uphold the principles of the Eightfold Path, particularly right action and right intention. While compassion is a central tenet, it must be balanced with the wisdom to discern when someone's actions are harmful or unjust. By setting boundaries, you are not only protecting your own physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, but also preventing the other person from accumulating negative karma through their harmful actions. In essence, boundaries are a way of practicing compassion for both yourself and the other person. They create a space where you can respond with clarity, kindness, and strength, rather than allowing situations to escalate into negativity. Setting boundaries is not about closing off or rejecting others. Instead, it's an act of love and respect for yourself and for the other person. It serves as a reminder that their behavior may not align with the principles of compassion, integrity, and non-harmfulness. When you establish boundaries, you assert that respect is not passive acceptance. It requires an active stance to ensure that interactions are healthy and balanced. This self-care practice allows you to navigate relationships without compromising your values or inner peace, ensuring that you are not sacrificing your own well-being for the sake of others. By respecting your own boundaries, you cultivate a space from which you can offer genuine compassion from a place of strength and balance, rather than vulnerability or resentment. This mindful approach reminds us that self-respect is just as crucial as showing compassion to others, and it empowers you to act with integrity and awareness. Ultimately, Buddhist wisdom teaches that respect is an intentional and mindful practice. It invites us to move beyond superficial social customs and explore the deeper essence of what it means to honor others. In Buddhism, respect is not about withholding acknowledgement as a form of judgment, but about recognizing that genuine respect is linked to the Eightfold Path, particularly right intention, right action, and right speech. These principles serve as a guide, helping us discern when someone's actions truly align with values like compassion, integrity, and mindfulness. Not everyone embodies these values, and that's an unavoidable reality. The teachings remind us to see things as they are, not as we want them to be, and to accept the nature of people and their actions with clarity rather than illusion. We are called to act with discernment, offering respect where it is sincerely deserved, while practicing compassion where it is needed, even if that compassion exists independently of respect. It's an approach that balances understanding and wisdom, acknowledging that while every being deserves compassion as a fellow sentient entity, not every action or behavior merits respect. This nuanced, mindful approach ensures that our actions align with the core principles of Buddhism, allowing us to honor those who embody the qualities of kindness, humility, and wisdom while maintaining equanimity and clarity toward those who may not. It reinforces the idea that respect is not a matter of conforming to societal norms, but of living authentically, ensuring that our choices and behaviors resonate with our deeper spiritual truths. So the next time you feel the pressure or obligation to show respect, pause for a moment to reflect deeply. Ask yourself, is this person acting with sincerity and integrity? Are they genuinely contributing to the well-being and harmony of others, or are their actions driven by self-centered motives such as greed, anger, or ignorance? Buddhism teaches us to apply discernment in these moments, using the principles of wisdom and compassion as our compass. Let the teachings of the Buddha be your guide, reminding you that respect is not merely a social gesture, but a conscious acknowledgement of virtuous behavior and positive intention. By practicing this mindful approach, you ensure that the respect you give is meaningful and sincere. It becomes a reflection of your own commitment to the principles of the Eightfold Path, aligning your actions with compassion, mindfulness, and integrity. When respect is given wisely and thoughtfully, it not only honors the deserving, but also strengthens your own journey toward enlightenment. It empowers you to live according to authentic values, free from the influence of social expectations or appearances. This path leads to a deeper understanding of what it truly means to live with wisdom, compassion, and clarity, helping you build a life rooted in genuine well-being and harmony with the world around you.